in for Los Angeles. They've got Morris. Patrick Beverly out there with Paul George. Then it's Ibaka, and it's Leonard in at the 3. It'll be Los Angeles off the tip. Opening day, Chris. In your experience, which types of teams tend to start the season well, started strong?
Two types. One, the team that has been forgotten about and left out. The team that had a disappointing season the year before, and no one knows the pain that they went through all summer long, waiting to get back to that moment. So they've been incentivized for half of a year to come back and say, wait a minute, it's our turn now. And those teams are sneaky under the radar.
Little chip on their shoulder, in other words.
And and then secondly, I would say veteran teams. Teams that know what they want, teams that are focused and saying, wait a minute, we know this is a marathon. Let's take our time, warm up, and stick to the principles right away, and we'll end up in the right place later.
And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. Outside Knight. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. Here's Mikhailuk. He's covered by Leonard. Pass to Henson. Shot clock at 6. Knight, that's a two-pointer. And it's off the back rim, no good.
Oh, he did everything right there except hit the shot.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Dwayne Casey and I got a chance to talk for just a bit. Asked about guarding Kawhi Leonard, he shook his head saying, it's amazing how he's grown from college to now. One of the game's most complete offensive weapons. And Kevin, the claw is really a tough task to slow down.
All right, David, thanks. Brown kicks to Knight. Poked loose.
I got your help. Shut up.
Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way.
And hitting the mid-range jumper here early gives the defense just another thing to think about.
Well, that's something that they scouted him coming into tonight. They know he can make this shot. That's a poor effort defensively.
And he's got the athleticism and strength to be a powerful presence inside. Leonard never afraid to get in and mix it up down low.
Grant with the ball. It's Ibaka picking him up. No good from Grant.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Oh, he's got a role in this quarter, taking it on himself to guide their offense.
Now, here is Knight. Passes it to Henson. That one's not going to go. Good work defensively by Morris. George against Brown. Here's Morris. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
You really admire how fierce Morris is on the glass. He never gives up on keeping the next possession alive.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Outside Knight. Fires for 3. Morris with the rebound.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively. Attacking in transition, the most consistent way to generate easy looks.
Yeah, you can tell they love to get out and run when the opportunity is there.
Henson against Ibaka. Will it go? That shot off. The Clippers go the other way with it. Now George. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Golden State. Beverly the pass to Ibaka. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Nobody near George. Buries it from three-point range.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive, and they've taken early control of this game.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Kawhi Leonard.
And he's been taking it to the rack all game, and they haven't been able to contain him. They have to put up better fight on the inside.
Well, let's take a look at last year's top scorers. Second is Paul George.
And looking back, his points per game really underscore the fact that he never took a game off. I mean, one special performance after another all season long.
Knight passes to Grant. Back to Knight. Stolen by Beverly. And here comes Leonard leading the crowd. That was a strong toe.
That's how you go hard. Just fantastic movement by Beverly. So effective in clogging passing lanes with his quick hands and anticipation.
And Chris, just how special was it to play for Detroit in your career? What relationship does this team have with their fans?
Yeah, it was so special. I mean, being able to go home to the house that I grew up in, or to where my parents lived, and be able to go to the Pistons practice and to be part of it, to put on that jersey, it was so special, man. This team is a mainstay of the city. I mean, you feel like you can lift up the whole city when you play for the Pistons. It was such a special part of my career.
Outside Leonard. Shot clock at 5. Here's Morris. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. A superstar summer, Greg, for the Los Angeles Clippers in Kawhi Leonard and in Paul George. Greg, they have 2 elite wings, great defenders in their prime.
Give them credit, but also Kawhi Leonard pushing the levers behind the scenes. He wanted another superstar to join him in recruiting Paul George, who still had 2 years left on his deal in OKC. Kawhi took unprecedented control of his free agent destiny.
And Morris drops them both.
While the shooting of Morris provides his team with is crucial, just a real valuable part of this team.
Brown the pass tonight. Back to Brown. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
I like that pick play. I mean, you can see how easily it makes it for him to get to the cup.
And Beverly kicks to Morris. George against Brown. And that one's good. George has got 5 now.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Nice ball movement by Detroit. Poked away. Stolen by Beverly. Outside Leonard. And the pass to Ibaka. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Very rich history for Detroit Pistons. They've been a part of the sports scene in Detroit since 1957, and they have 3 championships to their name.
Well, you look back at the title teams for the Pistons. There were a lot of them. Chris, which team was your favorite?
Oh, man. Well, growing up in Detroit, I'd have to go back to the Bad Boys in 89, 90, just watching them get through Boston and then, dominate the Bulls of that time. They went back-to-back winning championships. That was incredible. And it was something special, though, about my boys in the 2004 team. She, Ben Wallace, Rip, those guys. That was fun to watch as well.
Makers checked in for the Pistons. That misses, so he splits the free throws.
One of the best free throw shooting bigs in the league, but that wasn't always the case for Ibaka. He has put in a ton of work. Strong move to the 10, trying to get his guys going.
Hard not to get motivated, GA, right when your teammate makes that kind of play.
Yeah, Kevin, you're right. They needed that, and I love that he just didn't settle for the lay-in.
Drops in the tray. And that's now 8 points for George.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Pistons trail by 16. Knight on the wing, defended by Beverly. Brown dishes to Henson. And it's blocked by Ibaka.
And, well, he's been the NBA's leader in blocks multiple times. Ibaka just has that rare instinct for it.
6 on the shot clock, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
Excellent all-around performance so far, hence the big lead.
Yeah, Greg, they've come out of the gate strong at both ends of the floor, just in total control so far.
And it's Paul George with the foul. That's his first foul. With the floater, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul called on Los Angeles. The Pistons have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today.
And as a group, they shot 75% from the line last season.
And that one falls for Knight. See, well, we've heard some people criticize the league's obsession with the three-pointer, saying the game is less fun to watch. You and I have talked to coaches who do not like the style of play. Would you agree with that?
You know what, I do, Kev, but it's all in the way that it happens. So let's talk about a team like Golden State, okay? Golden State shoots so many threes, right? But they don't shoot the most threes, and they have the best ball movement. And they still take the most number of twos. And so they have a balanced game. Now, they have 3 of the best shooters last season out of any team, maybe in the history of the game. And they don't take the most threes, but then you have teams that have every guy shooting under 30%, and they're shooting 100 threes with no ball movement. Yeah, something's backwards. It's still about playing basketball and shooting threes, not shooting threes during a game that happens to be a basketball game, if that makes any sense.
It does. Perfect sense. Shot clock at 3. Floats one. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Morris has got 6 rebounds now in the game.
The defense has done a good job of forcing him into tough shots this quarter.
Brown with it. His last outing, 16 points for him. Over Beverly. Again, the miss by the Pistons.
Oh, you hate to let those easy chances slip through your fingers.
George with the bucket.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
Oh, I do too, Greg. You have to go to your best scorers. I mean, it's a smart strategy, and so far, it's paying off in this game.
The shot by Knight, no good.
It's been a really tough quarter for him. I mean, he cannot get his shots to drop.
It's good. And that's 12 points for Kawhi Leonard.
Just phenomenal awareness by Beverly, just dishing the ball to the wide open man easily.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Knight passes to Brown. Here's Mikhailuk. The Pistons working the ball around now. Pass to Knight. Brown outside. Paul George with the steal. And it's Paul George with the finish.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. They've decided to pound the ball inside, using their physicality to set the tone.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
Ay, nagano na kami, review na kami boy. Balikan dyan. Hanggang muna yung kanta ko dyan dito. Boy, ano lang, record lang. Ay ano, trailer review.
Prince, he's checked in for Detroit. McRae has come in for Brown.
All right, a chance here to check out the stats for Paul George. Coming off a terrific season, Last year, checking in at 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, and just over 2 steals. And you look at his scoring, he was #1 on the team last season.
His ability to play through contact, his exceptional concentration, that's what makes him a great finisher.
You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Kennard's checked in. Pass to George. Puts up a 3. Some solid defense from Knight. Inside, here's Prince. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Morris has got his 7th rebound here tonight. And here's Beverly. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Golden State. Knight against George. 4 on the shot clock. Rebounded by Maker.
Oh, defense, they just took that possession off. I mean, they get away with it that time, but they've got to show some more aggression.
The feed now to Knight. Passes to Maker. Rebound by the Clippers. George looking over the floor. Here's Beverly. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Morris against Prince.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively.
Morris, no good. Outside Knight. The pass to Mikhailuk. Pass to McRae. Just 5 to shoot. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock.
Oh, he'll take advantage of that kind of soft defense every time. Just give him a chance to attack the basket, and he will.
And Beverly kicks to Kennard. Morris outside. Pass to Ibaka. Over Prince. Ibaka, no luck.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
Mikhailuk passes to Maker. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Maker's got his 2nd basket of the night.
I mean, he's finding some good shots early on, and what you like about it, he's not trying to do too much.
Outside, George, to end the drought. The rebound by Prince.
Look, they say there are no easy finishes in the NBA, but that should have been easy.
And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And a coach that players love is Dwayne Casey. Very vet-friendly, sticks up for his guys in every post-game interview.
Casey is very measured in his approach. He can be a bit slow to change at times, but his players appreciate the consistency.
That free throw missing. Langston Galloway's checked in for Detroit. And he sinks the 2nd. For the Los Angeles Clippers, they come in off a good outing against the Warriors in San Francisco. Beverly against Knight. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It's on Thon Maker.
Beverly's a guy who loves physical contact. He really tries his best to absorb the contact on his shots to draw these fouls.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Had a success rate from the line last year of about 78%.
Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
Well, in overtime, Beverly has established himself as just a defensive specialist, juggernaut, an absolute pest who plays his tail off on both ends of the floor.
Both free throws good from Beverly. 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Knight, the bounce pass. 20 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Morris against Prince. Outside Knight. 5 on the clock. Baseline J on the way. Galloway, no good. The 3 from George. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's the Los Angeles Clippers holding a big 18-point lead to close the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. We'll return shortly. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. Guys, we've seen a confident-looking Clippers team out there.
You got to credit their defense, communicating, rotating, making plays on the ball.
Well, no question. It's been stifling thus far, preventing that offense from establishing any kind of rhythm.
Here are the 5 Detroit has to start the second quarter. We've got McCray. Prince out there with Jeremy Grant. Then there's Maker, and it's Galloway in at the point. The first free throw is good. There's always at least one joker on every roster. Who was the funniest guy, Chris, you ever played alongside?
Oh, man, by far is Jay Will. Jay Will, White Chocolate. He was the funniest before the game, after the game, during the game. He would, you know, it'd be a bad call by a ref or something. He'd say something to the ref would laugh and pat him on the butt. I mean, he was, he's a funny guy. He's somewhere right now telling jokes, having somebody laugh and fall out on the floor. It was just his personality, a hard worker, but he definitely was the joker on the court.
And here's Prince outside. Bangs home the trifecta. Prince has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Here's Kennard. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Morris finds Jackson. Back to Morris. On the wing, Jackson. Here's Kennard. He's covered by Grant. And here's Morris for 3. The rebound by Grant.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
And the dunk by Maker.
Now, this is what you like seeing. Maker not just laying it up, but powering it down.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, Dwayne Casey was the 2018 Coach of the Year, but as we all know, he was fired after that same season by the Raptors. But Casey has found a home in Detroit. Casey said, "I have no regrets." Winston Churchill said, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm." And that's what I've done. So, Kevin, Dwayne Casey is still pounding the rock.
He sure is, and I like that Churchill quote as well. Thanks, David.
Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Jackson.
And as long as Reggie Jackson is healthy, he's going to give you some punch as a lead guard. Solid scoring option and a guy who's also unselfish in terms of getting his teammates involved.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. And for the last half-decade, Reggie Jackson has been good for about 15 points a game.
And that is about the consistency you can expect from Jackson. He's always been a talent. The key for him is just staying on the floor.
Here's Grant. Good work defensively by Morris. Clippers leading by 13. Lob pass to George. And out of bounds. The Pistons will take it. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Pistons. On Saturday, they're off to Toronto to face the Raptors. And then on Tuesday, they'll go back home and will be hosting the Orlando Magic. Detroit with the ball. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. When this game is done, they'll be off to take on the Raptors. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Here's Galloway. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Here's Prince. It's hauled in by Zubac.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Kennard kicks to Zubac. Back to Kennard. Clock at 6. Here's Jackson. Now on the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
Now, whenever Jackson is driving, the D is nervous. He is just brilliant at completing his drives to the rack.
Out to the right wing. Here's McCray, defended by George. Here's McCray. He's got 5. Detroit needs to get off a shot here. Detroit, no good that time either. Here's George, tipped away. And now the Pistons, fast break. Here's Prince. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got 8 rebounds in this game. Here's George, up and in on the layup. George has got 14.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Here's Galloway, defended by George. Passes it to Maker. They need this one. It's hauled in by Zubac.
Oh, they get away with it here, but that's not a shot you should ever be giving him.
George passes to Morris. And Maker sends it back.
Proving he could be an active defender. Great hustle from Maker to stifle the shooter.
And it's Grant in the corner. Prince outside. Here's McCray. Here's the teardrop. McCray. Reggie Jackson with the rebound.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Lays it up and banks it in. Jackson's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, that's the 3rd bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Here's McCray, defended by George. Just 4 to shoot. McCray kicks to Galloway. Sinks the three-pointer.
A dependable shooter from outside the arc. You can tell Galloway really believes in his 3-ball.
Outside Jackson. With the teardrop. And Maker sends it back. Prince wide open. It's hauled in by Zubac.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a 3-point play chance here for him.
31.
That'll put Paul George on the line. It goes on Taurean Prince. The Clippers have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
And look back a season ago. They did a solid job at the line, about 79% of their free throws.
Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Morris.
Mind the lane.
Brown is checked in for the Pistons.
One shot.
Dan Kennard came into the league viewed mostly as a shooter, but he's been able to provide much more than that.
I mean, better than you think when he puts the ball on the floor. Learning how to lean into defenders and step back to open up the shot is a better playmaker than he gets credit for, and we should see him take on a larger role as he develops.
Brown outside. Maker passes to McRae. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. The drive by Jackson. And, oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. Lets it go with a three. And the basket by Maker. Maker's got 9 points.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
Jackson passes to George. From 15 feet away, and Galloway pulls it down.
Even when the D is playing off of him, the mid-range jumper shouldn't be the shot they're looking for.
Maker kicks to Galloway. Here's McRae. He has 5. Shoots from 12. That one goes. Count it. Galloway has got 5 points now this quarter.
A capable scorer. Galloway enjoys working in his mid-range game. I mean, from time to time.
Jackson deciding where to go with it. Now the pass to Leonard. Good for another basket. He's put up 10 shots and made 7 of them.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Here's Galloway. 9 points last game out. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That's on Reggie Jackson.
I love seeing this from Galloway. When he forces the issue, it puts the defense in a tough spot.
And Chris, one thing you have to like about Galloway is that he's always prepared to play.
Yeah, Galloway is the type of player that can see 5 minutes on the floor in one game and then start and play 25 minutes the next one. You just think about that focus for consistency. The production can be hit or miss, but he's a great plug-and-play option for a coach in need of filling minutes.
Brown wide open. He fires. No good on the triple. And so George will bring it up for Los Angeles. It's a 14-point game. Here's Leonard. Not going to go that time. Some solid defense from Grant. Here's Galloway. He has 7. Grant in the post. He's covered by Leonard. Grant the pass to Henson. Brown kicks to Galloway. Beyond the arc. Good on the triple. Galloway has got 10 points.
Yeah, this looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowing.
Outside Leonard. Three-pointer. Good for his 8th field goal. He's attempted a dozen shots.
His teammates keep getting him the ball in his favorite spots. He's done a lot for his shooting percentage.
Galloway, the pass to Henson. From 11 feet away, it's hauled in by the Clippers.
That's a break for the D right there. I mean, he takes advantage of open looks inside more often than not.
George, no good.
Now, he had 2 3-pointers in the opening quarter. It hasn't been able to connect yet here in the second.
Luke passes to Galloway. Pass to Grant. The Pistons working the ball around now. Down low. And Grant sends it back. Pass to Luke. Excellent D there from George.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
Excellent D, avoiding fouling and gotten the perfect position to alter the shot.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle. Here's
Galloway. 10 points for him. Rondo on the double team. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. So it's the Pistons now. Grant dishes to Galloway. Back to Grant. He kicks it to Galloway. Just 3 to shoot. From deep three-point range. And it's the Clippers with the rebound. Ibaka's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And that one's good, George.
And I just love the aggressiveness from George, just slicing apart the defense with that terrific ability to penetrate.
Passes to Grant. Back to Galloway. Grant against Leonard. Now, here's Grant. He's covered closely. Back to Galloway. They need this. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of if you don't want your pocket picked. Here are last season's steals leaders. Paul George on top.
There were so many nights when he controlled the game through his defense. Not a surprise to see him ranked at the top.
Rondo passes to Leonard. Puts it up from 12. Another one falls for the Clippers.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Galloway taking his time here. And the pass to Grant. Pass to Mikhailuk. Wants to get it to Grant and does. Here's Mikhailuk. From deep. Galloway, no good.
And you could tell he thought he had a little more space, but the defender was right there.
Oh, man, did you see him close that gap? What a great job. He made the shooter feel uncomfortable.
Here's Leonard. The rebound by Grant. Grant's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. There's Galloway. 10 points for him. Grant outside. They could use a bucket. Rebounded by Serge Ibaka. Ibaka's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Well, with the role he's on this quarter, they're going to keep going to him and get that lead even bigger.
Grant outside. Shoots over Leonard. Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson, an outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 23 points, 2 steals. And that's a wrap.
And after a very
Once you pick your jumper, it's time to join the Clippers and test your build in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, and it's my player picking up the assist.
And if you're not feeling one of your builds, you have the ability to make 6 total builds and play 1 test game for each one.
And a view of the skyscrapers of Midtown Manhattan from high above the East River here in New York City. Good evening and welcome to tonight's